Hey y'all, I think I'm making a mess over here, but I'm taking the boys to, my grandsons to the splash pad today, so I'm going to throw this in the crock pot. I've had it one time before and it was delicious and really easy, and I've thrown some of it in there already. I cut up about 4 chicken breasts, one like medium onion, and I've got 4 teaspoons of, what is it called? Cornstarch. And that's what I've got in here, and I've got 1/4 cup of honey. I just went ahead and put it in there because it takes all day to get that out of here, and plus I didn't measure it because I don't know how much was in there, but I'm going to call it 1/4 cup like the recipe. I'll have the recipe link down below and all the recipes in the description box. It calls for garlic, but I'm going to use garlic powder, and I'm just going to measure with my heart. I like lots of garlic in there. And I'm just going to add some onion powder to it too. And also it calls for 1/4 cup of soy sauce. And it's that easy. Just stir it around. And it's so good, and it already smells delicious. All right, it's that easy. Just put the lid on there and cook it 3 to 4 hours on low. All right, y'all, I talked the whole time. I didn't know my camera was not going. So sorry about that, but it cooked for about 3 hours on low. So I took a bag of this broccoli and I just steamed it in the microwave. And I put it in here with the chicken, and we're gonna wait maybe another hour and we'll eat. If you have chicken breasts in here, you could probably, chicken thighs, you could probably put the frozen broccoli in there, but I didn't want to cook it too long since I'm using breast. Put the lid on there, and in about 30 minutes to an hour, we're going to eat. All right, it's done, and it smelled so good in the house when we walked in the door. And I just made some rice in the Instant Pot. It took 5 minutes, and we've got dinner on the table. It's so nice to have dinner ready when you walk in, especially if you're like us. We have so much stuff going on in the summertime, and it's nice to not have to worry about walking in the door and having to figure out what you're going to have for dinner. All right, y'all, today's crock pot meal is going to be like a French onion pork chop meal, and I'm going to make potatoes with it. And I did cook the potatoes a little bit because I'm trying to get this meal on the table in like 2 or 3 hours. But you can cook it longer, but I just cooked the potatoes in some water, so I'm letting them cool off. I've got my pork chops here. I've just cut them. I had a whole pork loin that I got at Aldi, and it was really cheap, $1.89 a pound, so I'm cutting it up. And I had some bacon grease from the other day, so I'm going to brown the pork chops in that bacon grease, and that's just going to give it a lot of flavor. You do not want to cook these. And I cut mine a little bit thinner because I want them to cook faster, but if you don't, you can have thicker pork chops. What? It's hot, yeah. So I'm just going to brown these as quick as possible on both sides. All right. They were not on there even a minute. Just as soon as they got some color, I took them off. So I've got some garlic powder and onion powder. You know, my own standby. You know I can't cook without that. And I did salt and pepper these after I put them in the pan. Okay, I've got a can of cream of chicken soup and a can of French onion soup. And I'm just going to mix that together. Oh, I got one unhappy in here. He would not take a nap, so hopefully he will not be really cranky while I'm making this. So I'm just going to make sure that it's not really lumpy, but it'll all melt in there. All right, that's mixed up together. All right, so now I'm just going to pour that over the potatoes and the pork chops. This already smells good. So. All right, I'm going to put it on high and cook this until the potatoes are done and the pork chops are done. My side, I am cutting up some squash. I cut up some squash and an onion, and I'm just frying that in some avocado oil. And I'm also going to add some flour. This is my new favorite way to make squash. It's like fried squash without all the work. You'll just toss that into the squash, and it'll turn golden brown. You might have to put in a little bit of oil, but it's still going to be really easy and way easier than frying it individually in some oil. So I hope you try this. This is the best way to make squash. And now my pork chops and potatoes are done. So now I'm going to work on my other side item. And I have got so many green beans from the garden. So I'm going to cook them in the cast iron skillet with some butter. And then I'm just going to add some garlic powder. And also I'm going to add some Parmesan cheese, because I have got to come up with some more recipes with green beans. If you have any good recipes, link them down below, because I am getting a ton out of the garden. But this was a delicious way to eat them. And this meal was so good, y'all. Perfect for summer. It's a slow cooker pork chop meal, and those easy sides, it came together in no time. So this is one of my favorite summertime meals to make when I've got garden vegetables coming in. And especially with pork chops. I love a good pork chop. Hey y'all, I have another really easy and simple crock pot recipe. And I'm going to use my smaller one because I'm not going to make a whole lot. But I'm going to use my canned chicken. You can use 2 chicken breasts if you would like. But I am going to take a shortcut when I can. And I'm just going to use my home canned chicken. It's going to be a lot easier and quicker. Let's get it all out of there. And if you're using chicken breast, just lay your chicken breast here. You're going to put 1 can of cream of chicken over the top. They double the recipe. I'm only going to half the recipe. So I am going to add a half a block of cubed cream cheese. And this is called like ranch chicken, so I'm going to put in some ranch. I'm not going to measure, just about 1 teaspoon. And I'm also going to add some onion powder. And you could add garlic powder too, but I mean, how simple is that? I mean, it's summertime. You don't have time to make some elaborate meal in the crock pot. You want something that's going to be delicious and quick and easy. So I'm just going to mix this together. And you can serve this with rice, and you can serve it with pasta, but I'm going to serve it with some spaghetti noodles. It's going to be delicious too. I bet it's going to be good with rice too. You could also, instead of ranch powder, you can use the packet of Italian dressing. I've seen that as well. But I think I like this the best. You can put any kind of spice that you want in there. Alright, that cream cheese will melt. So I'm just going to go ahead and let that cook. Y'all, I did not think this is going to be anything all that great, but it's delicious. It is like chicken and dumplings without the dumplings. It is so good. But I had some fettuccine. I wanted the bow ties. I thought that would be good with this, but I didn't have any. So all I had was fettuccine, but that's still going to be good. I cannot wait to dig in, y'all. This was, with the shredded chicken, it took about an hour and it was done. So if you have regular chicken breasts, you could cut them up and it probably wouldn't take that long, maybe 2 hours, but this is going to be delicious. I'm going to put some Parmesan cheese on here. It's got a simple salad. I made some ranch dressing, and this is what we're having for dinner. Perfect summer meal. And I've got my garden vegetables here that I chopped up on some lettuce, and that's going to make it even better. I'm sitting here eating this, and I'm like, I've got to tell you how good this is. This is amazing. You've got to try it. So easy, and it's so delicious. It's one of the best things I've made in the crock pot. I'm telling you, you've got to try it. Kind of like a chicken Alfredo and kind of like a chicken pie on some pasta. It's delicious. So I hope you enjoy all 3 of these recipes. All 3 recipes were delicious, but this one is amazing. You've got to try it. I'll have all the recipes linked down below in the description box. I hope y'all have a wonderful week, and I'll see y'all in the next video.